Jean Talon has ambitious plans. He dreams of a strong and prosperous New France. The projects he launches give new hope to the old pioneers, the Jesuit Le Mercier and Marie de l'Incarnation.
He is having a covered market built in Quebec and a brewery and a tannery because of the great number of animals in this country. These industries have never been attempted before in Canada, but if they succeed, they will greatly reduce the enormous expense of having everything brought over from France. And they will provide the makings of a great country that in time will make the merchants rich.
If the course of events in the future corresponds to that of the past 2 years, we will no longer recognize Canada and shall see our forests changing into towns and provinces, which may someday resemble those of France.
But the colony is desperately short of workers. Pierre Boucher, who came to Canada as a young servant, is now a merchant and a seigneur looking for employees of his own.
All poor people would be better off here than in France, provided they are not lazy. They will not lack for work, and they will not be able to say, as they do in France, that they have to scrounge for a living, because no one has work for them.
Most of the men who come to New France are engagés, indentured servants. An employer, a farmer, a religious order, or a merchant, pays for their transportation from France. During the life of his contract, usually 3 years, the engagé is bound to his employer. He can't become a citizen, get involved in the fur trade, or marry. His labor can be bought and sold without his consent. During Talon's regime, about 1,000 engagés come to New France. Only half of them stay once their contracts are over. The rest get on the first ship back to France. Talon and Colbert try to stop the exodus.
If things continue in this manner, the colony will not get stronger. Despite the trouble you have taken to increase the population, many people have gone back this year.
His Majesty believes that this is extremely disruptive, and he therefore forbids that any Frenchman be allowed to return to his kingdom unless those who seek permission to do so have a wife and children and considerable property in the colony.
The engagé who remains might begin with little more than the shirt on his back. But he is now his own master, with a future in a new land. "15,000 French people came to New France between 1608 and the end of the century. Only 3,400 remained here. They are the pioneers of Canada."
There are a great number of poor folk in this country. When a family first settles here, it takes them 2 or 3 years before they have enough to feed themselves, not to mention the clothing, furniture, and 1,001 little things necessary to maintain a proper household. But after these difficulties are past, they are able to live more comfortably. And if they manage their affairs well, they can in time become wealthy, or at least as wealthy as is possible in such a new country.
In 1672, New France's brief run of good fortune seems about to end. Jean Talon, the intendant, is recalled to France before his great projects can be realized. Europe is at war, and France can no longer spare any men for her far-off colony. The first wave of French immigration to America is over. 3 generations will be born here before the next. But they turn out to be enough for the little colony on the St. Lawrence. There are only 4,000 Canadiens, but they have established a solid foothold in the New World. Pierre Boucher and Charles Le Moyne, the soldiers and the filles du roi, all have found their home. Now they will embark on a great adventure, the conquest of a continent. It will bring new alliances and new battles with the Aboriginal peoples, and a rising tide of conflict with an imperial rival that will threaten the very survival of New France.